Yeah, Boston College women's basketball coach Erik Johnson here, end of October, so we're closing in on the start of this season. It's November 11th. Boston College will start on the road. First home game November 14th. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, I love that it's basketball season. You being back around here is a good thing for us.
Before we dive into the upcoming season, let's take a little look back at last year. You had a very good start in the non-conference season. You ended the season with a win at the ACC tournament to advance to the second round. What did you take away from last year?
Yeah, I think the ACC clearly has the highest level of competition that there is, and we were in so many close games. Here's a team that went 12-1 in the non-conference. We beat Purdue on the road in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. We beat Utah by double digits in the Bahamas. Our only loss to an Oklahoma team that was a top 25 team in a close game where we led end of the third quarter. And then we come into ACC play, and so many games come down to one turnover, one rebound. And for us, we were still playing, I think, with a couple pieces gone, and we were masking some areas that the ACC is pretty good at exploiting. So what's fun about our team is I think they know, hey, we can do this. We're right there. Now, what's it going to take to be able to make that next step, to be able to get over the edge?
Two players graduate from last year's team. They were two captains, Nicole Boudreau and Alexa Coulombe. Who has stepped up so far to really fill that leadership void?
Yeah, well, look, you can't replace, a personality like Nicole, a human being with character of Alexa Coulombe. I hope that we learn from them. I hope that there's never going to be another Nicole, another Alexa, right? And so you hope that those young players learn the lessons. And can I take the best pieces of Nicole? Now, neither one of them was perfect either, right? Can I learn from the mistakes Nicole made as a leader? Can I be able to bring some of the best parts of her personality out? And one of the things that I think I'm really proud of our team is that they're all finding their voice rather than, sometimes when you lose a personality like Nicole, where there was a voice that was strong and this is what, maybe everybody has to step up a little bit. And what you're finding is that leadership can come from a lot of different areas. And people are finding that, I'm really good at inspiring our team when we have a tough drill because I push through. And another player is really good at, hey, when we're having a tough day, I get people up. And another person's really good at reminding us, hey guys, we got to make sure we follow the rules or we stay in line, And so again, it's a fun group that way. There's not another just obvious Nicole in that group, but I don't necessarily think that means that we're doomed not to have great leadership.
You have Kelly Hughes back for her senior year. She's really climbing up the BC rankings in so many different offensive categories. What do you expect from her last season?
Good. Well, Kelly is one as a senior, and right now she's the only senior that's playing. Our other two seniors are still dealing with nagging injuries, and so she is really the voice of experience out there. And for her, finding her voice a little bit more and stepping into some of those roles that she's not Nicole. They're very different. There's great things that she's better at than Nicole. There's things that she'll never be as good as Nicole at. But I want Kelly to be the best version of Kelly Hughes. What does Kelly as a senior look like? Kelly, you've learned all these lessons, right? How can you step up in the best Kelly Hughes ways that you possibly can? And that's what I think is fun, watching her develop and feeling some of that responsibility and growing in those ways. And she's doing a really good job.
As a freshman last year, Mariela Fasula had an outstanding season, earned ACC All-Freshman honors playing down in the post. Now, people always say the big jump comes from that freshman year to sophomore year. Have you seen her take a big step forward?
Yeah, we have. So many of the little freshman things, right? Just whether it's, not that Mariela ever had a bad attitude about anything, but just the way she deals with adversity, the way she can push through when she does get frustrated over something. It's just a blip. She has one moment. I can look her in the eye, hey, Mariela, got you, coach, let's go. And now she jumps back in and she's pointing to her teammates and she's hustling and she's getting things going right, where that might have taken her another whole drill or a couple possessions or until the second half to kind of get it back last year. So that emotional growth, that mental toughness has grown, and those things certainly manifest themselves in being more consistent on defense, rebounding better, finishing better, and I think we're going to continue to see that through the year.
Anyone else who's really impressed you with the jump they've taken from last season through the offseason to this year?
Yeah, look, it's our job that all of our players need to make that. I think Ella Awabajo has really, the whole Steph Curry idea that, if you want to become a better shooter, you get in and you work on it. And then you work on it some more, and then you work on it some more. And we have the shooting machine called the gun, and Ella logged more shot reps and attempts and quality shot reps and attempts than anybody else in our program, and did a really good job. And you'll see what a difference. Now, instead of a kid who maybe people sink off of and everything, here's a kid with a beautiful stroke. We were at Fan Day the other day, and one of our alums, actually on the men's side, came over and said, who is that kid? Because she's got a beautiful shooting stroke. Like, that's Ella. Wow. That's, and I told Ella, and she was very proud, of course. So it's great when you see kids put in the work and then get to see the results, and that really starts to just permeate all the different parts of their game and the program.
We've talked about some of the experienced players. You also have 5 fresh faces on this team. Are there any freshmen that you expect to jump in and make a big impact early on?
Yeah, we need them to. We need them to. They really have no choice. And I think the determining factor for us is going to be how quickly these young players. We've got 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores that are right now getting a ton of game experience in our scrimmages, and how quickly they can learn the lessons that we need them to learn and be mature and make good decisions, and everything will be a big key. Right now, Georgia Pinot has been a really versatile player for us, who can play the 4, can play the 3. She's a very good passer, a very smart player. Taylor Ortlep has helped a ton at the point guard position. Again, she's got, both of those players are Australian. They played on their national team together and played in world championships against some of the other best players in the world at their age group. And I think they're game ready, just as Mariella was last year, that international experience. And Emma Guy has a toughness about her, and just in terms of rebounding the ball, some of the things that we missed last year, I think those players bring. And then Shannon Ryan and Jasmine Taylor, again, have great potential and again, great personalities, and they've been a real lift to the program as well.
Take a look at the schedule coming up to start the year. It gets underway on November 11th. It's a mostly local non-conference schedule, but you have a couple of big highlights on their trip out toward Colorado for a tournament around Thanksgiving time. And then Penn State comes to Conti Forum for the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Sure. Look, I mean, our non-conference schedule, I think, is very challenging. We've got Seton Hall on the road. You mentioned the Colorado tournament, ACC Big Ten, St. Mary's is coming in. There's some good teams that we're going to have to work really hard on. And look, once we get into the schedule, it's just about preparing for every single game. So, when my staff and I are looking at how we build the schedule, we want to build it to be able to know that over the season we'll get ready for ACC play. At this time of year, we're just trying to focus on how we get better every single game. But I think it's going to be some great, exciting games for the fans, and I certainly think we'll be tested going into ACC play, and hopefully be ready for, as we talked about, the toughest conference in the country.
Yeah, and you hit on it, and let's expand on that a bit more. As you look around the ACC, do you see anything that tells you it's not the toughest conference in the country? We're looking at the same old story again this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a poll that had Notre Dame and Louisville number 1 and number 2 preseason. Again, everything's sort of preliminary right now, but yeah, there's no question it's going to be murderer's row of competition. But I think we'll be more ready to handle it physically. We're a bigger team. I think we're tougher. Some of those kids that were freshmen or sophomores now, and we've got some freshmen that are physically ready to play. And they talk about this in football or whatever. That's the difference. It's just the speed and the toughness of the game. And even though a kid might have a really nice skill set, if they're intimidated at all by the physicality of the game, then it's going to be rough. And so I've been really proud of our team. I think we're going to have some things that we can give right back to those top teams, rather than just trying to be reactive and maybe kind of smoke and mirror around some things. I think we have all the pieces. Now we need some young kids to be ready to step up, and we need to be able to put it all together.
Only a couple weeks away from the season getting going on November 11th, home opener on November 14th. Coach Johnson, thank you.
Appreciate it. I have a lot of fun coaching, so hopefully it will be a lot of fun for you to call our games this year. So thanks again for coming out.
Thanks, Coach.